Thanks.
Hello?
Mafia is a third-person shooter genre created and developed by 2K Czech, who were at the time known as Illusion Softworks. The series began on August 28th of 2002 on the Microsoft Windows, which eventually was ported to the PlayStation 2 and the Xbox. The game was originally titled Gangster and was to include a multiplayer racing mode, which is nowhere to be found on release. The game began development in 1998, but was delayed due to restrictions with the game engine known as Insanity. They replaced it with their new engine called LS3D, and the game was delayed until 2002. The console port lacked police patrols while playing Freeride, and the graphics were downgraded. The game was inspired by Mafia films such as Goodfellas and The Godfather. Upon release, it was already being compared to Grand Theft Auto and was praised for its more mature attitude. Mafia 2 began development in 2003, only 1 year after Mafia's release, and was originally planned for PlayStation 2 and Xbox, but was moved to the next-gen consoles and was announced August 22nd of 2007. It was then released on August 24th, 2010, and received mostly positive reviews from the critics. The game was called to be banned by Sonia Alfano, president of the Association for the Mafia Family Victims, and Unico National also claimed the game indoctrinated young Italian Americans into a false and demeaning stereotype. Alongside Mafia 2, a mobile version for the game of the same name was released, which had an entirely different story from the original console versions. On July 28th of 2015, 2K Games announced Mafia 3, and the trailer was revealed August 5th, 2015, and was released October 7th of 2016. The game also took a stab at the mobile industry by releasing Mafia 3 Rivals, which is a turn-based combat game without an open world. Mafia was kept hidden as a top-secret AAA game. The company relocated in Nevada, California on January 10th, 2014, where a new studio was established to work on Mafia 3 called Hangar 13, led by Hayden Blackman. Mafia 3 was created in a fictional New Orleans called New Bordeaux set in the year 1968, using old photographs to recreate this world. You were able to purchase the Collector's Edition as well as the Deluxe Edition. The Deluxe Edition, as always, features the Season Pass as well as a copy of the game, while the Collector's Edition will get you an art book for Mafia 3, Lincoln Clay's replica dog tags, some drink coasters, collectible prints from Playboy and Alberto Vargas, as well as the Mafia 3 soundtrack. Sometimes long development times are great, and sometimes it means poor development team. But without further ado, this is Mafia 3. The first thing you'll notice about Mafia 3 upon starting the game is that it has a great level of detail. You'll be greeted by off-brand Morgan Freeman's face and actual clips from Vietnam. When you start the game, you'll love how everything looks. That is, until you actually get to the city and the graphics take a crazily noticeable drop. Shading will flash in and out, clouds won't cast a proper shadow, some cutscenes will be unnecessarily bright for no reason, there's no ragdoll, there's awkward sun flares, detailed characters, and detailed environments, but then there's fucked up hair, unbreakable trees, questionable popping, things floating, and people walking through walls. What the fuck? Even the damage on the cars is near non-existent. And your car just happens to be near invincible. When you get shot or shoot at people, a set amount of blood will appear on you and the NPCs, making it look like everybody is suffering blunt trauma and giving off a dead inside look. The cars are okay looking, but are without a definite reflection. Speaking of reflection, mirrors don't have them. It's like they're set in their own world because unless something was put in the room by the game, it won't appear in the mirror unless you do this. Your car's mirror is no different. It's like mirrors have their own realm where everything is low poly and the world chases you, deleting anything it touches. Which brings us to the poppin'. Sometimes poppin' is so late that things either don't appear at all or appear too early. Cars will literally spawn in front of you and explode because they were quicker than the poppin' itself. While driving fast, the poppin' is painfully noticeable, and when driving around water, don't even think about looking in the rearview mirror. Just pretend it's not there because you can't turn it off. The city, the bayou, vehicles, and environments inside or outside have so much detail and light put into them, but they're often ruined by a constant shine and awkward shading. Lincoln's outfit is highly animated and very detailed. A good thing too, because you'll be wearing it through 95% of the game, since they forgot to add character customization like they did in Mafia 2. The NPCs and story characters all have a great level of detail to them, from their clothes to the skin on their bodies. The way their faces move inside and outside of cutscenes gives the game a great amount of life and believability. If only the hair wasn't so... this. Alligator eyes will glow at night and the sun will reflect off the ground in ways not possible. The animation on the characters are actually very fluid and a joy to watch. Even after you stop aiming, Link will continue aiming in the direction you are looking in case you need a quick shot still. Graphically, this game is a mess. The best way to describe it would be to say it looks like PS2 era CGI trailers used to advertise a game. The set pieces that have loaded look great, but there's a reason these trailers have 5-second scenes. If you stare too long, you would start to notice problems. And that's the problem with Mafia 3's graphics. They're terribly noticeable because you not only have free movement of camera, but can also sit in one spot as long as you'd like. Explosions are, well, they're like this. But sometimes like this.
Good to see you again, Councilman. How's that new wife of yours? Can we just
Grenade! Get to cover!
The NPCs are the same people over and over with little to no variety, so expect to see the same people everywhere. Since the game copies off New Orleans, you can enjoy the bustling city or take a walk through the alligator-infested bayous. Even with this game's glaring graphical issues, it actually has the potential to look good. You just have to be willing to wait for the perfect lighting sometimes. Cutscenes look great, but just questionable as to why the game couldn't always look like these. The sound is decent. Nothing too big and nothing that would make you happy if you had your surround system on blast. Everything sounds very stock, from the cars to the guns. You won't be overly excited by these things, but they work. The acting is actually handled extremely well in this game, and that's great. The characters play their roles believably, and you can tell they enjoyed doing their acting for this game. The cutscenes are really one of the driving forces of this game. NPCs don't know how to react to situations though, and it can make for some really awkward scenes.
We made the news! Shut the fuck up, Jody. We need to keep moving.
I gotta get to class. Come on. I think the cops down here.
The game has the use of many racist terms. It's the 1960s, so what do you expect? If you're easily offended, especially by the word nigger or nigga, then you should most likely not bother with this game and not spread your overly sensitive emotions on your opinion for this game. So if you don't like being called Negro by the police, then well, shield your eyes, my nigga, because you about to learn what it's like to be your brother through this game. It's like a simulation of how it is to be black in today's society. They even mentioned that the black neighborhoods don't get fast police, only these rich white people. They'll even call you suspicious just for being black. The music in this game fits great with the setting and the mood that they play in. There are some instances where the radio will automatically choose a song to fit with what's going on around you, and continue playing after you've left the car if you don't change the station. There's only 3 radio stations to choose from, and I found myself on WNBX because I just can't get enough of Born to be Wild. The combat music never gets old and always gets you ready when the game switches from stealthy to aggressive approaches. Sentries do this weird beatbox thing, and I'm always waiting for them to like break out in the song, but they never do.
Well, some bitch ain't breathing.
The story starts in 1968 after Lincoln has returned from Vietnam with an old man trying to figure out some case involving your character and the Mafia family, the Macarons. You begin inside a flashback where you'll be robbing a bank, which will eventually lead to another flashback so that you're in a flashback while in a flashback until you complete that flashback and return to the present day flashback, where you will play the game from there. The story in this game is the main driving force. Even if you're disappointed by everything else, the story will be something that you'll enjoy seeing, and the cutscenes are the most entertaining and unique parts of this game. Cutscenes are told through cinematics as well as stand around and talk scenes. The game appears to have used its animation budget up at some point, so only critical story missions have actual cutscenes. I'm okay with that as much as I'm not okay with that, because these story missions are always so much fun. You'll be taking down Sal Marcano's men, starting from the bottom to the top. Vito Scaletta from Mafia 2 returns as one of your underlings for this game, apparently still chasing his dream. Steve Harvey makes a guest appearance. Even Markiplier shows up for a guest star appearance. Sadly, his head had to be shaved for these scenes, but he seems to be doing alright these days. If you fail a story mission without dying, you get these special death cutscenes, which I actually like a lot. It kinda reminds me of old games like Jak and Daxter.
None of this makes any sense. That can't be how it happened. Look.
Lincoln is a big guy, like the biggest guy in this game. Unnecessarily big. Like if the real world had a Hulk, Lincoln would be it. He is so powerful that all it takes is a quick push to literally murder somebody.
Open your eyes, why don't you?
But that isn't saying much, because anything can kill anybody. Sometimes you won't even know that you died, but you did. And after dying, you'll lose half of any money that you're holding just because though. There's no actual reason behind it because you don't spawn in a hospital or a police station. You just lost your money because the game said you did, unless you dropped it off at the vault, of course. If you do that, you lose no money at all. This mechanic doesn't have a real purpose, but it adds some form of realism somewhere, so that's cool. I too would only steal $50,000 off a man holding $100,000 that is now dead. I mean, come on, he might need that other half. Lincoln moves around with some obvious weight to his character, and I like that. You don't instantly move in a direction. He shifts his body weight toward where he's walking, and I love when games add that level of attention. When he stops running, he'll have to slow down. A lot of attention went to the animations. The fighting is, well, it is something. It's no GTA, nobody actually puts up a real fight, and nobody will retaliate to you. You can run up to any enemy and start mercilessly beating them. Somebody shooting a shotgun at you, a couple punches will take them out. Spotted a group of unsuspecting individuals, just run in there and stab them up. It's amazingly simple to kill everybody around you. My worst adversary are actually the police. I find driving to be one of the most enjoyable parts of this game. You drive like you're always in a cinematic trailer and it's always fun. Unless you're in a boat, because it's just a boat. Just look at how much fun this crash. You have to obey traffic laws. At least that's what the game says anyway, because I still have yet to find out what this game considers traffic laws. It seems to have its own system. You can pass red lights, speed around, drift and cut off anybody, but if you crash or drive on the wrong side of the road, suddenly you've committed a crime that can only end with your death. Crash into a wall a few times, they'll shoot you dead. Accidentally crash into a cop car while obeying traffic laws? They'll call the entire squad on your ass, Rodney King style. But who cares? It's just another black man killed by the apparent protectors of America. Too much? If you're driving a car and on the run, they use an auto-aim system. The game will automatically aim at the police or enemies chasing you. You can switch from their engine, tires, or anybody in the vehicle. If there's an obstruction, the cursor will turn red. If there isn't, it will turn green. Makes those getaways just that much easier. If you're on foot, you're able to sprint for a good 7 seconds before Lincoln gets tired. Apparently Vietnam hasn't done this guy any favors, or his body is so heavy that he can't even handle it himself. It's easy to aim in this game, but it definitely depends on the gun that you use. Some machine guns, snipers, pistols have high accuracy, even if the gun doesn't say so, while rifles and shotguns will shoot wherever they please. The farther away somebody is, the more accurate your guns seem to be. The closer somebody is, the more accurate your guns seem to be. Let that soak in for a bit. The game would prefer to have you stealth through most areas, but they haven't thought this mechanic through completely. The cover system works a little too well. As long as you're in cover, you will most likely not be seen, unless you're hiding where they're walking. Usually. You can whistle to call people over and they'll both react if there's more than one, but still come at you one at a time, so before you know it, you've cleared out an entire base by whistling and stealth killing. The AI in this game is undeniably stupid. They have a set guarded area, and they will walk right into the desk. They lose you, even if you're looking right at them. Police and enemies.
Your kind don't belong here. I'll be around here somewhere.
This game is littered with glitches. Most of them are not game breaking, but they are immersion destroying. You will know you're playing a game from the pop-in to the body's not rendering, the way the game just plays. The glitches don't usually break the game, as I said, they're more funny than anything else, which is nice, but still inexcusable. Mafia 2 was a much more polished game than this one. Speaking of Mafia 2, remember how they let you change your clothes, nice suits and whatnot? Well, I hope you like generic military man look, because that's what you'll look like this entire game. So enjoy it while everyone else has an entire wardrobe to choose from. And, well, Lincoln decided he only likes to wear one outfit and never thought of buying some more. Maybe he feels the need to be brand recognized whenever he's killing Mafia members. In secret. Which doesn't make sense. You can't swim in this game, but can't go underwater. I advise against swimming anyway because there's boats everywhere to drive. There's also alligators, but they're easy to dodge. And they also don't have an animation for eating you if you're alive, so they'll just bite you and then you die, and then they'll eat you. Sometimes. If you're around alligators and you're carrying somebody, you can throw them in the water and they'll eat them. Just like the white man did to the African babies. The body will sink if there's no alligators nearby though. You can collect Playboy magazines, Alberto Vargas' pictures, album covers, Hot Rod magazines, take down Russian propaganda, and pick up a few issues of Repent from various buildings. If you walk into a white-only store, they won't take any of your crap either and tell you to get out or they'll call the police. Or they'll outright crash your game. You can sprint, you can shoot, you can go into cover, you can drive, but you know that thing black people are known for? Well, running, yes. Football, okay, well. Basketball, well, no, but wait, jumping, yes, jumping. The thing you cannot do in this game. But you know what, at least you can swim. It's not underwater. Maybe I should note that Lincoln is half black, so he can only do half of white things and half of black things. They say mixed races get the best of both worlds, so I guess Lincoln just got shit on here. So not only did all of these glitches, popping problems, and gameplay decisions pass, it seems nobody played the other Mafia games, and nobody tested this game more than 3 times. Do they think it's okay to present customization and then take it away the next game? Fuck you, Pokemon Omega Ruby. I think it's actually funny when a group of developers just can't seem to get their shit together. Anyways, in this game you're building up your own multicultural Mafia group, and as boss you get to use all of your assets and pick up the money by doing jobs for them. Because you know, that's what the Don does, right? He does jobs for other people. You have a weapon wheel where you can select a primary and a secondary weapon, as well as access your crew members from here. You can drop off money you're holding even if it's just $1. Car a little smashed up or missing a tire? Call the exact same car to replace it. Need to get away from the police fast? Call them off. Sentries annoying you with their reinforcements or can't stop the citizen from calling the police? Cut off all the phones. Don't want to stealth or even do anything at all? Call on your boys to take care of the dirty work. Unless they disappear, which happens sometimes. Low on ammo? Call on your arms dealer. From here you can access a variety of different weapons that you can buy. If you already bought the gun, you can get another one for free. Each weapon type has upgrades that you can buy to make them better. You can refill all of your ammo from here, buy grenades, and unlock upgrades for your car as well as your character. You know how the majority of open world games play where you drive to the mission point, watch a cutscene, and then do something different each time? This game has a similar playing style. You drive to your mission objective, listen to some guy talk about his shit life so you can fix it, you destroy the base of the mob boss by doing various things like killing everybody, setting things on fire, blowing things up, stealing money, and then going to do it in the next few areas again.
Alright, partner!
Whores in the French Quarter.
Cocksucker! Take the rest of the day off.
Audacious, aren't you?
No one will even notice. Everyone will notice.
Sometimes you get the choice of if you want to kill one of the base leaders and get instant money, or recruit him to your racket for extra profits later on, which is always the duh option. After that, you return to the guy who has a shit life and he'll tell you the boss is for some reason now waiting in a kill zone, and you go to the same place you just left from to kill him. After taking over the base, you get to choose who secures that part of the district. This will become important later on in the meeting where you choose who owns the entire district. Your actions will reflect how each character speaks to you, but Burke will usually hate everything you do anyway. Depending on who you choose, you will also unlock guns, car upgrades, character upgrades, get markers, which are used like get out of jail free card when you don't want to pay for your crew to assist you. Like I said, neglecting one of them will make them hate you, and they will leave, to where you have to kill them. Any services from them you have unlocked will carry over though. So make sure you give evenly because you can't change it without restarting the entire game, because the game only allows one save and will autosave everything you do. Everybody has their own perks and tiers to the mob, but most are just And then the cutscene plays. See, it is similar. The game wants to be Assassin's Creed meets GTA so bad, like worse than Watch Dogs. At least Watch Dogs had its own spin though. This one just wants to be both. You even have ego vision. The game uses this system as its mission structure throughout the entire game, and it can get old, but the combat in this game has anything can go wrong feel back in it, and sometimes things can go to hell pretty fast, and that's pretty fun. Every place you go will have its own environment and set of small missions, although most just involve killing a guy, and some can be unique with their own little stories and sometimes short scenes playing showing off what your actions cause, which are rare but nice to see. Then there's the actual story missions, which are usually a lot of fun and unique, like this one with Markiplier as the villain. The further you get into the game, the more the game will crash. A lot. The excuse for games being open world is completely false. Graphics, gameplay, content, and stability can no longer be chalked up as it's an open world game. We're well past early last gen. This is inexcusable at this point. Fix your shit or delay the game. Don't put that trash out. The game is fun, don't get me wrong. You will enjoy your time playing this game, and the glitches will make you laugh more than they'll make you mad. At times you'll feel like this game is going to be great, only to be let down by the glitches though, which can be anything from a person not loading in, cars not moving, randomly hitting invisible walls while driving, flipping over nothing, the game crashing, shiny places, weird rain effects, and much, much more. You can upgrade your health and play missions that increase how much your people can pay you depending on how many districts they own. These missions will involve you stealing trucks and dropping them off, or picking up shipments of weed and then dropping those off. Depending on how much your character likes you, you will unlock special missions from them. Burke will have you stealing cars, Vita will have you go on assassinations, and Cassandra will just ask you to protect the Hollow. You can hack fuse boxes to reveal what's around certain parts of the district, and there's a lockpicking system in the game which is very easy. I'd also like to note that you can only kick open doors either when the game tells you to, or when they are locked. So, what this means is, when a door isn't locked, Lincoln will just casually open the door like he has no urgency, which is actually really stupid and doesn't make sense. There is none. 3 endings, and they will all allow you nothing more after beating the game. You can return to the game and unlock any upgrades you haven't gotten yet, or complete any side missions you haven't done if a character hasn't been killed by you. But other than that, there's really nothing. You just restart the game or pretend like you care. Until the DLC comes out, of course. And the DLC in this game involves a few free content to anybody with a copy of the game, as well as more story missions that you can purchase with the season pass or individually. The free content consists of character customization, more weapons, vehicle customization, race missions, and more, as they have said on their website. If you're wondering why this is free, the real reason is because it's an incomplete game. The content that should have already been put in the game is being added as quote-unquote DLC. But we all know the truth by now. If you count free races and character customization as DLC, your game is incomplete, so stop lying, people. The other DLCs are actual story DLCs which add on to the game as small expansions. Fasta Baby, starring Lincoln Clay and his ex-lady Roxy assisting the civil rights activists. Sign of Times, which features ritualistic killings, probably some KKK stuff, you know how it is. Stones Unturned, which involves Lincoln fighting an old rival from Vietnam. The free DLCs are free, and as they should be, considering that's just content that you just forgot or decided to not finish before the game's released. While the paid DLCs will be adding new vehicles, weapons, and costumes. Which means the paid DLCs cater to the free DLCs, as though they were meant to be like that. What a coincidence. My final score for Mafia 3 is below average. Now the premise of the game was perfect. Lincoln Clay's goal is to create his own Mafia gang and take over the city. The way the story is told and how all of the characters act expertly takes a hold of you, and I found myself enjoying the story more and more as it progressed. The game is just destroyed by all of the glitches, bugs, and graphical issues and incompetent AI. They haven't done much to keep you coming back to this game after it ends either. While the side missions for each character are enjoyable, it doesn't give me a reason to turn on the game to just mess around in free mode. And that's what sandbox games should be. This game feels more like a broken set piece than a sandbox game. The combat in this game is done so well and it had so much potential, but there's just a lot of problems on top of the game that simply cannot be ignored. The game does bring some good ideas to the sandbox formula. The ability to call for cars that are instantly delivered to you is awesome, but you can't store your own unique cars you found on the streets, and you can only access the 6 cars you've unlocked in the story. You can call to turn off phones around you so sentries can't call in reinforcements and civilians can't call for police, which is a nice touch. The fact that they even have to call the police for police to arrive is the best part about it. Being able to access a mobile weapon shop is also great. Having to put your money into a safe in order for you to keep it just doesn't make sense. There is nothing warranting this. Lincoln just respawns at his nearest base. You also can't even get arrested by the police. They'll just gun you down for any offense you commit. Being able to call in a crew is nice, but they die so easily, and they don't stick around until they're all dead either. If I was able to call them off whenever I wanted, then that would be much more effective. Instead, they're just a waste of money because they'll leave if there are no enemies on your radar. Being able to call up police is also a nice touch, and takes away the wait times when a mission wants you to run away from the police. The stealth in the game is great, but the AI needs to improve so much more. While I was okay with how the mission structure worked, it got old fast having to do the same missions with slight alterations over and over again. I wanted to see something new and exciting, but most of it came from the main missions. And even then, they're sometimes really anticlimactic. The game isn't a bad game, but it sure isn't a good game either. $60 is way overpriced for the experience this game will give you. I'd say this game is $25 to $30 at best. Thanks for watching, everybody. Leave a like, a comment, or subscribe because I don't plan on leaving anytime soon. My name is KotyTang, and I'll see you guys in the next video.